Today, I want to talk to you about something that might blow your mind, and it's why members of Congress can say probably the most outrageous things you've ever heard of and get away with it. It could be lies, slander, propaganda, pretty much anything they want, and they can get away with it. Basically untouchable. Yes, untouchable. So this is because of something called congressional immunity.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to Civics and Chill, where politics is made simple, where we cut the noise, no fluff, just facts, where we keep it real chill, but stay informed, and decode the headlines. You are now watching Civics and Chill.
I'm going to welcome you into the very first episode of what I'm going to call Civics and Chill. Get it? Get it? Get it? Okay. So this is not going to be perfect. This is the first one, like I said. It'll get better over time, or maybe it won't. But, at the end of the day, I'm just here to talk and give my thoughts. So what I want to do is I want to take the junk, the noise, the mess out of the politics and try to dive straight into the fact of things as best I can. I don't have all the answers, but I have opinions and I have thoughts and I have ideas just like everybody else does. So that's why I'm here. First point, why this matters. So if you've ever watched a debate on the floor or watched a clip and thought, well, how's it okay that they said that? You're not the only person. And what you're witnessing is not just politics as usual, as they would say. It's this legal loophole built right into the Constitution that gives lawmakers the freedom to say whatever they want without fear of being sued. And here's the kicker about this. They know it and they use it to their full advantage. I mean, who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? So first thing is, what is congressional immunity? So I'm going to read this here. So starting with the Constitution, Article 1, Section 6, there's this thing called the Speech or Debate Clause. It's a protection that says members of Congress can't be sued for anything they say on the floor or in committee hearings. Makes sense, doesn't it? So sounds like a great idea in essence, but it was meant to protect free debate and prevent harassment from lawsuits. But the twist is now they're just using it for abuse. And I'll give you a great example. Let's go with Elon. So Elon does his hand motion where he's saying, "My heart goes out to you," and does it a little weirdly. We can admit, a little awkwardly. We can admit. But what did they do? Members of Congress marched immediately to the floor and started giving speeches about it, right? Why didn't they just go out in some spots and say it not on the floor? Or why didn't a lot of them go and say it in a space like in the news immediately or whatever? It's because of this immunity. And this happens a lot. Now, some people did eventually go and say something on Twitter or say something on X. And some people did go on news channels and say these things, but they started on the floor until they were like, oh, it's okay to say something now. Let me go out and say it. I'll go say it somewhere else now. But this happens all the time. That's one example, but there are many. You think about the different things that you see happening, and I have an idea why, but let's talk about that. So let's talk about, I'll call it the propaganda playbook. Let's call it that, right? So this is why members use the floor for propaganda, and this is why I think it's shady. Like I said, after a big controversy or breaking news story, members of Congress rush to the House floor or the Senate floor, and they get down there and they say, for what reason does the gentleman from whatever state seek recognition? And they ask for unanimous consent, and they're going to give a speech, right? It's all strategy. So that's their safe zone. That's their safe zone to say whatever they want because it can't be challenged in court, no matter how false or inflammatory. And they know that. And The reason that I think that's a big problem is because of the credibility that it gets. So for most people, once it's said on the floor, they use that speech to legitimize their claims. So what that means is they are taking that speech. They're going to get some nice little clips of it, all diced up, make it look nice, put their logos on it, blah, 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 all this stuff. And because it's something that they said on the House floor and they got the grandeur of the building behind them and, the House floor and the marble walls and the nice carpet and the chairs and other people and the this and the that to make it all special. People go, oh, well, they said it on the House floor, so, it's got to be true. They said it on the Senate floor, so it's got to be true. They wouldn't go down there and just say anything wrong. It's crazy. But I say all that to say this. I think we as voters and citizens need to pay attention. Hopefully you're a voter and a citizen, but that's a different discussion. Anyway, I think we as voters and citizens, we need to take pause at times, probably most times, if I'm honest. And the next time you hear someone say, well, they said it in Congress, or so-and-so said it on the House floor, or so-and-so said it, here's this speech from when he said it, or here's this speech when so-and-so said this during a confirmation hearing, you need to ask yourself, are you seeing clips from when there was a hearing or there was something on the floor going on when they were immune? Are they taking the same comments that they made on the floor or in a hearing? Are they saying those out in public? Because it doesn't apply to press releases or press conferences. It doesn't apply to them going out and standing in the middle of the street and just saying anything. There's free speech and there's protected speech, but there's also defamation. And probably one of the biggest things that helps them is they're going to use this clause to protect themselves as much as possible. And a lot of people just don't sue them for defamation. I wish more people would, to just keep them in check for things that they say when they're not in this protected status. But my thoughts are, take all of these speeches, all these things in hearings, all this stuff with a grain of salt, huge grain of salt, and do the research and dig into it yourself. I'm always going to advocate for researching things for yourself. I have a political view. I have thoughts on things, and I see news that I like and I see news that I don't like. And what I like to do is I don't just read a headline and then click, bloop, share. I'm going to dig into it. And so I guess at the end of the day, it's like, why should this matter? I think you should care because it shapes public perception. And those speeches can fuel division, which they do. And a lot of them are meant just for that. It could spread misinformation. It could cause fear unnecessarily, which they do. And this happens a lot. And it can impact elections, which they do, right? And we have to stop as just humans, just as people. We have to be curious. We have to stop just accepting things as truth all the time, because they're counting on us to just think that since they said it there and they are members of Congress, that it should be true without question. So what do you watch for? When you hear phrases like unanimous consent and they're getting ready to give speeches, or you see a clip that's 10 seconds long to get a point across, or you notice that this person's just always quickly running to the floor to say something where they don't have to worry about accountability, that might be something for you to take pause on and think about. And I always tell people, don't send me a 10-second clip and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they said this. Don't do that. Send me a longer clip. And if you can't, I'll find it, because I want to see a few minutes before, a few minutes after, because I want to know in context what was really said. Because with all politicians, this happens all the time. A little clip gets shared and the world gets set ablaze because they said this statement, and then you realize it's taken out of context. So That's why I say always look into it. So anyway, I got a little bit off track. That'll happen sometimes. So that is congressional immunity. And that's one of the most powerful tools in politics. And it's not always for the right reasons, to be honest. It was meant to protect debate, but today it's often used to spread lies and avoid accountability. That's why it's more important now than ever to stay informed and question what you see. Question everything. Not to be rude, not to cause chaos or just to be disrespectful, but question everything and think for yourself and find your own information and come to your own conclusion. So here's my question. Let me know what you think about congressional immunity. Should it be reformed? And what examples do you have that you've been seeing that's been abused? Like, let me know. Talk to me. Drop in some thoughts, some comments, send me a message. And this is my first one. Might be a little rough. We'll get better, right? But subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more. I'll be doing more episodes, and together we can cut through the noise and get to the heart of the facts of the politics and everything that we're doing. So with that, thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Civics and Chill. Hope you get it now, Netflix and Chill. I just didn't want to say it, but if you didn't get it in the beginning, then that's, Anyway, remember to stay informed, stay engaged, and then always keep it chill. See you next time.
Thanks for watching this episode of Civics and Chill, where we make politics simple and keep it chill and informed. Make sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.